Hey everyone, I'm just here sitting in my basement. Just been recently thinking about courage. I just want to share some thoughts with you about this. And so, hey, Living Word family, anybody that's just tuning in. But I've been thinking about courage. So, what is courage? Many have their own definitions. They've coined their own definitions, and a lot of times their definitions are actually motivated by self-interest, or they're anti-biblical definitions that just really have to do with just promoting oneself and moving them forward, and kind of covering over sometimes their own sin, and it has nothing to do with courage at all. But I wanted to give some quotes here that I found that I thought were worth mentioning. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. E.E. Cummings. Courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway. John Wayne. I like that one. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the little voice at the end of the day that says, I'll try again tomorrow. Anybody familiar with that courage? Billy Graham said, courage is contagious. When a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are often stiffened. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak, and courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Winston Churchill. We need that right now, don't we? Courage is the price that life exacts for granting peace. Amelia Earhart. Some really great quotes, and when we talk about courage, when we talk about attributes worth modeling and emulating, it points to Jesus, because he emulated all the attributes that are worth emulating. I wrote down, it takes courage to follow Jesus. It takes courage to do what is right every time. It takes courage to do something you've never seen modeled. It takes courage to love well, lead well, and sacrifice well. Courage is not steely bravado, but the inner resolve to get up and try again. Courage is motivated by an inner conviction and God confidence to take a risk. Courage is an attribute of the Hall of Famers in the Bible. True courage, God courage, is motivated by love. I think true courage is motivated by love. And I love what Paul says here as he's encouraging Timothy in 1 Corinthians. Be on your guard and stand firm in the faith. Be courageous, be strong, do everything in love. It's interesting how he ended with love there. He's saying, be strong, be courageous, do everything in love. That's the basis on how we can demonstrate courage. In the book of Joshua, God told Joshua to be strong and to take great courage because God would be with him. Courage is dependent on God to do what we cannot. But it requires us to take the first step, doesn't it? I just want to give you a brief illustration here in this season and that we've been in, and the COVID scare and all kinds of things have been happening, and now just real racial tensions and pain and heartache and all kinds of things that are going on in our nation. It's going to take courage. It's going to take courage that's motivated by love. Courage, as I said, it does the right thing every time. It requires men and women to stand up and sometimes sit down and listen to model courage. One of the areas that God has been talking to me about being courageous is in my schedule, and he started meddling in my schedule several years ago, and more recently again he is saying, okay, I brought you this far, but I'm not done yet. And he's been showing me, especially during this time where things have been shut down as a whole and a lot of things have been changed, it's been like a reset button has been pushed. God has been talking to me about adjusting my schedule again. And He's given me some real ideas, and for sake of time, I won't go into that. Maybe I'll share another time. But what it looks like and how to plan my week and manage my week and do something that's not just about productivity, but it's about living out of wholeness and fullness, and living full-heartedly and giving that to, really it's a gift to myself. It's a gift to God first, gift to myself, gift to my family, and gift to those around me when I'm living out of a full heart, being healthy. But it takes courage to do some things that you've never seen done before. especially in the area of ministry. And when I'm around other pastors and I say, I feel like God's calling me to do this, and I'm like, that's interesting, or that's really courageous. I think that God is calling each one of us into some new areas of courage. And I just wanted to encourage you. That means to put courage in you, to trust God and step out in faith. What are the areas that God is asking you to be courageous? It may be in areas that you don't even associate with being courageous. But I tell you, when it's motivated by love, there's courage there. Just want to bless you guys. Have a wonderful week. Talk to you soon.